The desert was quiet that morning. Too quiet. Sergeant Michael Cruz adjusted his helmet, squinting against the Afghan sun that turned the horizon into a burning haze. Dust clung to his lips and the smell of diesel hung thick in the air. His convoy of armored vehicles rolled cautiously through a narrow stretch of road nicknamed the Funnel, a place no soldier liked to linger. He had written his wife the night before, telling her not to worry. "We're fine out here," he typed on a cracked keyboard. "Just counting the days until I can come home." Those words would become the last she'd receive from him. For a while. The blast. The explosion hit without warning. A deafening roar tore through the air as the lead Humvee lifted from the ground, flames curling into the sky. Michael's world spun. His ears rang, then came the silence. The eerie, ringing stillness that only follows death. He was no longer in the vehicle. He hovered above it, watching medics run toward the wreck. He saw his own body slumped against the door, blood soaking through his uniform, yet strangely, there was no pain, no confusion, only clarity. Am I dead? He wondered. Then, out of the shimmering heat, a light appeared, like fire that didn't burn. It formed into the shape of a man clothed in radiance, wings stretching behind him like living flame. "Your battle isn't over," the being said. The voice wasn't heard with ears, but felt inside the soul, calm, commanding, filled with something beyond language. Michael felt himself drawn toward the light, yet part of him hesitated, thinking of his wife, his little boy waiting at home with toy soldiers lined up on the bedroom floor. "I'm not ready," he thought. "You are never ready," the angel replied, "but you are loved. You must go back." The vision. The light engulfed him, and in it he saw images that shattered him. His wife kneeling beside their son, whispering a prayer. His mother lighting a candle at church. Every prayer reached him like a thread of sound weaving through heaven's air. He realized those prayers weren't just words. They were living things, echoing across the boundary between worlds. Each plea pulled on him, calling him home. The angel gestured toward the distance. A river of light flowed beneath what looked like stars. "This is the grace that carried you here," the voice said. "It is the power of prayer. Remember it." Michael looked down one last time and saw the desert glowing faintly beneath him. The broken convoy, the soldiers kneeling beside his body. The angel raised his hand, and the light collapsed inward. Return to fire and flesh. A violent jolt slammed through his chest. He opened his eyes to chaos. Medics shouting, rotor blades slicing the air above as a helicopter touched down. Someone pressed hard on his sternum, another injected adrenaline. He gasped like a man surfacing from the deepest ocean. "He's back!" The paramedic's voice cracked. The heartbeat monitor fluttered with new life. 9 minutes. That was how long his heart had stopped. 9 eternal minutes. Aftermath. In the military hospital weeks later, doctors called it an extraordinary recovery. Complete cardiac arrest with no hypoxic brain damage? That's unheard of, one surgeon said. But Michael wasn't interested in medical explanations. He just kept staring at the ceiling, remembering that voice. Your battle isn't over. When he finally returned home, he hugged his wife so tightly she thought he'd never let go. "You prayed for me," he whispered. She nodded through tears. "Every night. I told God I wasn't ready to raise our boy alone." He smiled. "He heard you." A new mission. Cruz eventually left active duty, but he didn't leave the battlefield behind. He began visiting wounded veterans in hospitals, not as a preacher, but as a friend who had seen something no war could explain. He told them how love reached across death, how prayer moves through darkness faster than any bullet. He would often quote a verse that now lived deep within him: "The effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much." James chapter 5 verses 16. He told soldiers struggling with nightmares, "I've seen the end of fear. You're more than your wounds. The same light that found me in the sand can find you in your pain." Reflection. Sometimes when he walks at dawn, he still feels the faint warmth of that fire near his shoulder. He doesn't talk about angels much. People find it easier to believe in war than in grace. But when he closes his eyes, he can still hear the whisper that changed everything: "Your battle isn't over." Michael Cruz now fights a different war, one against despair, faithlessness, and the unseen wounds of the soul. His medals gather dust in a box, but his heart burns brighter than ever, lit by a flame that no explosion could extinguish.